We all, at times, wonder about who we are, what this life is about, where this world comes from, and what the source of this silence is. Namaskar. My name is Oshin Kaul. I'm 19 years old and attend Penn State University. In today's video, I will be explaining the key differences between Dharmic traditions and Abrahamic religions, and then between Advaita Vedanta and Kashmir Shaivism. Before I begin, I would like to say I am no expert on these topics. This video is based purely off of research and my own opinions. To begin with, Dharmic traditions and Abrahamic religions stem from two different parts of the world. Dharmic traditions include Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, and stem from India. Abrahamic religions include Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and stem from the Middle East. There are four major points that encompass most of the differences between these two worldviews that I will be explaining further. One worldview is based on the assumed revelations of God, and the other worldview is based off of the principles of dharma. The word dharmic means abiding by the principles that which sustain the world, while the word Abrahamic stems from those who revere the first patriarch, Abraham. First is the concept of being separate from the Creator versus one with the Creator. The two traditions differ in their theories of creation of this world. Abrahamic religions believe that God created this world as distinct from himself. This leads them to believe that an individual can never be one with the Creator, and this idea is known as dualism. Contrarily, Dharmic religions believe that through attaining moksha, an individual can become one with the Creator. This idea that the Creator and the creation sprung from the same source and are essentially one is known as non-dualism, or Advaita. Abrahamic religions do not support this concept of self-realization because to them there is no divine self to realize, since Creator and his creation will always be inherently separate. Another paramount dissimilarity is the concept of God. In Abrahamic religions, the people look up to one God. This God is the sole creator of the universe and is represented as a male. God has a plan, and humans need to follow that plan. Meanwhile, in Dharmic traditions, there are multiple narratives of the one ultimate reality. These differences lead people to understand God in their own distinct ways and include both males and females as gods and goddesses. This plural understanding of God leads to a variety of ways which one can attain godhood. God is seen more as a state than a person. This outlook negates the need for any religious conversions. Additionally, another major point of distinction is the concept of salvation versus moksha. The two traditions differ when it comes to the ultimate purpose of life. Abrahamic religions believe the purpose of this life is to be saved from all sin, and that each individual should do everything possible in order to make this happen. This is known as salvation theology. This purpose of salvation leads people of this faith to believe that each individual has only one linear life. They believe that after this one life, the individual is placed into either heaven with the angels or hell with Satan. On the other hand, Dharmic traditions believe that the ultimate purpose of life is to attain moksha, a state of enlightenment. Dharmic traditions believe that each individual lives multiple lives and is reincarnated after each one based off of their karma. This concept is cyclical in nature rather than linear. Once one attains moksha, one is broken free from the cycle of deaths and rebirths and is at peace. Here's a small snippet by Carl Sagan describing this phenomenon.
The Hindu religion is the only one of the world's great faiths dedicated to the idea that the cosmos itself undergoes an immense, indeed an infinite, number of deaths and rebirths. The only religion in which the timescales correspond, no doubt by accident, to those of modern.
The fourth and last major point of distinction is the use of rules versus tools. As aforementioned, in Abrahamic religions, everything goes back to the sole purpose of salvaging oneself from sin. They rely on a single text in order to deliver their messages to the masses and to keep them from committing sin. These texts explain how the Creator created everything in this world and then go on to define a set of rules for the people to follow. If an individual does not follow these rules, it is considered a sin. By contrast, in Dharmic traditions, everything goes back to the sole purpose of attaining moksha. Instead of a single text, Dharmic traditions rely on many scriptures that serve as a set of tools for anyone that wants to explore the spiritual path towards moksha. These scriptures don't tell you right from wrong, but rather serve as a guide to push the individual in the right direction. There are no consequences for diverging from this path, except that one is trapped in this cyclical existence. So the 4 points mentioned above can be summarized in one simple statement. While those that follow Abrahamic religions view life as a test where heaven is the correct answer, those that follow Dharmic traditions view life as an amalgamation of experiences, ultimately ending with the goal being moksha. Every aspect to both of these two different traditions comes down to attaining their respective purposes. Now, I want to shift gears to the discussion of Advaita Vedanta and Kashmir Shaivism. Advaita Vedanta and Kashmir Shavism are two types of non-dualistic Dharmic traditions. At their core, they're both trying to explain the universe, how we came to be, and the purpose of our existence. Both believe that through spiritual practice, one can become one with the creator of the universe. Both accept this absolute, undifferentiated consciousness as the ultimate reality of life. In Advaita Vedanta, the ultimate reality is called Nirguna Brahman. According to this tradition, Brahman is unborn and is always present. It is in a state of eternal observation. It takes no shape or form, which is known as Nirakara. It possesses no qualities, which is known as Nirguna. It possesses no dynamism, which is Nishkriya. Brahman is constant, always remaining unchanging and ever present in this world. But then you may ask, if Brahman is just an observer, how did the world as we know it come to be? Here is where the concept of Maya comes into play. In Advaita Vedanta, Maya is responsible for the dynamism of this world. Maya is the illusion of the phenomenal world and is characterized by 3 gunas. These dynamics are separate from the Brahman. Vedanta says that this Maya is what creates Akara, Gunas, and Kriya, all which give rise to Saguna Brahman or Ishvara, which is Brahman with Gunas. Maya deludes an individual and makes Ishvara believe that it is manifesting the universe. But this is Ishvara's illusion. Ishvara is only Sakshi or witness to Maya. The ultimate reality is that there is nothing else but Nirguna Brahman. This is why Maya is present only in the beginning but not at the end for an enlightened person. According to Vedanta, the universe came to be through 25 tattvas or building blocks. These building blocks descend from subtle to gross realities. The first 2 tattvas are Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is one's inner self and is a derivative of Brahman. Meanwhile, Prakriti is one's outer world and is a derivative of Maya. Tattvas 3 to 25 account for the ahamkara or ego, manas or mind, our cognitive faculties and other gross elements. These tattvas are the manifestation of Maya in the physical world, and once an individual becomes enlightened, Maya dissolves. From a Vedantic standpoint, the path to liberation is threefold: hearing the teaching with the receptive mind, shravana, deeply thinking about it, manana, and meditating on it consistently, nidhyasana, until samadhi, or full realization. Yogic practices are also known to be helpful. And now begins the story of Kashmir Shaivism. In Kashmir Shaivism, the ultimate reality is called Paramashiva. According to this tradition, Paramashiva is also unborn, always present, Nirakara, Nirguna, and Nishkriya. However, where Brahman is inert, Paramashiva is dynamic. This dynamism comes from the Shakti power of Shiva. An important point here is while Brahman of Advaita Vedanta is illuminant, it is not illuminant of itself, whereas Paramashiva is. Paramashiva does not just observe, it is everything that is. In Shaivism, there are 36 tattvas. These tattvas are a manifestation of Paramashiva, the ultimate reality. The first 5 tattvas represent divine consciousness and are non-dualistic in nature. Shiva and Shakti are 2 sides of the same coin. They are light and self-awareness. Tattvas 3, 4, and 5 are Shiva's different moods. At the 6th tattva is where Shiva, who is perfect oneness, separates himself. While Maya is introduced as an external force in Advaita Vedanta, this contraction of Shiva is known as Maya in Kashmir Shaivism. Tattvas 7 to 11 are known as the Ganchikas, or limitations. These limitations show that each individual has the same power as Shiva but in a disguised form because of Maya, the ultimate delusion. Tattva 7, the first Ganchika, is Kala, or the limited ability to do things. Tattva 8 is Vidya, or the limited knowledge. Tattva 9 is Raga, or desire. Tattva 10 is Kala, or time. Tattva 11 is the last Ganchika, Niyati, or space and causation. These Ganchikas explain what happened to Shiva when he became us, just individuals. Tattvas 11 and 12 are Purusha and Prakriti, also known as where the story begins in Advaita Vedanta. It is crucial to note that these extra 11 tattvas in Kashmir Shaivism are what differentiate it from Advaita Vedanta and explain how Maya is incorporated as one of the tattvas, rather than an external entity. Kashmir Shaivism also includes the concept of malas and upayas. Malas represent when Shiva becomes a bounded being through the process of contraction. Upayas are the means by which an individual being returns to its Paramashiva nature through the process of expansion. The difference in the process of attaining moksha is that Kashmir Shaivism does not make it a prerequisite to renounce the world. An individual does not have to shun all worldly pleasures, as they are not seen as hindrances in the spiritual path. Liberation is not seen as an escape from the world, but rather a reminder to live life fully. Now, my take. Making this video has been a learning process for me. What I have realized along the way is that this is not a study of religions, but rather a study of how human beings from different cultures try to explain the phenomena taking place in the world around them. There is no right or wrong approach, just different ways to look at the mystery of our existence. Namaskar, and thanks for watching.